Good evening, and welcome. Tonight, we are not rushing toward roaring battlefields, dramatic shouts, or moments of sudden thunder. Instead, we will wander quietly through the immense landscape of ancient myths, moving gently from one forgotten legend to another, noticing the small, quiet details that rest beneath the larger story of the land. As the world outside grows quieter, allow your breathing to become slow and steady. Imagine an old, peaceful temple after sunset, wooden pillars stretching into soft shadows, ancient bronze drums resting beneath pools of golden candlelight, the faint scent of aged parchment lingering in the still air. Somewhere beyond the open doors, rain taps softly against green bamboo leaves, while a distant river measures time without hurry. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to remember. Simply drift through history, one gentle word at a time, allowing each scene to rise, linger, and slowly fade, like waves meeting a calm shoreline beneath the moon. In the heart of the rugged emerald valleys of Fudong, long before the grand citadels of stone were raised, the world moved to the slow, rhythmic swaying of giant bamboo forests and the endless cycle of the monsoons. Here, an aging peasant couple lived a life of quiet virtue, their hands rough from turning the soil, their backs bent from planting rice under the warm sun. Yet, the heavens had withheld their greatest blessing, leaving their small, rustic cottage filled with a heavy, lingering silence. There was no laughter of children echoing in the dirt courtyard, no tiny footsteps running across the floor. Every night, as the cool wind whispered through the wooden walls, the old woman looked out at the starry sky, whispering silent prayers to the ancient gods of Ao. The mountains, hoping for a child to hold before her time, came to an end. It happened on a morning unlike any other, when an unnatural, soothing white fog rolled down from the misty mountains, swallowing the green rice fields whole. The air was crisp and biting against the skin, carrying the fresh scent of wet earth and wild mountain herbs. Walking alone down the narrow path toward her fields, her breath forming small clouds of vapor, the old woman paused. The village was entirely silent, stripped of all ordinary sounds. As she stepped into the flooded mud of the paddy, her eyes caught something that made her heart skip a beat. Pressed deep into the dark, wet clay was an impossibly massive footprint, its edges perfectly formed, pulsing with a faint ethereal golden light that reflected the heavy, quiet sky. Fear and awe gripped her chest, overshadowed by a strange magnetic pull that felt like a gentle invitation from the universe itself. Trembling slightly in the cool morning air, she slowly lowered her own small, frail foot into the center of the giant impression. The moment her skin touched the cold, wet mud within, a sudden, blinding surge of warmth rushed through her veins, sweeping away all weariness. The fog around her swirled peacefully, and for a fleeting second, the distant, muffled sound of a sleeping dragon echoed from the heavens above. She withdrew her foot, her heart beating with a profound, quiet realization that her humble life had just been touched by something eternal, divine, and deeply mysterious. Months passed under the watchful, comforting gaze of the changing seasons, and Miraculously, the elderly woman conceived a radiant baby boy whom they named Gong. At first, their modest cottage finally overflowed with the joyous light they had prayed for across decades of loneliness. Gong was a breathtaking child, possessing eyes as deep and dark as the midnight sky and a physical strength that seemed entirely unnatural for a newborn. Yet, as the seasons turned, their boundless joy slowly morphed into a chilling, absolute bewilderment. Months melted into years, and though Gong grew tall and sturdy like a young pine tree, he remained completely trapped in a world of profound silence, never uttering a single sound, shedding a single tear, or cracking a single smile. Day after day, year after year, the silent boy sat motionless on a woven bamboo bed tucked in the darkest corner of their cottage, staring blankly out the wooden window. His deep eyes remained fixed intensely on the northern horizon, as if he were listening to a cosmic frequency, a secret rhythm that no one else could perceive. The villagers whispered among themselves, wondering at the strange destiny of the silent child, while the mother and father simply watched over him within patient, unconditional devotion. Outside their window, the world continued its timeless dance, with birds singing from nearby branches, sunlight filtering through tall bamboo leaves, and the gentle breeze carrying the scent of blooming rice across the peaceful valley. While Gong sat in profound, unwavering silence, a storm of iron and blood was quietly brewing far beyond the northern borders. The ruthless Yin Empire, gathering a vast army of armored warriors, began marching southward like a dark shadow swallowing the sunlight. Villages at the edge of the kingdom reported smoke rising into the overcast sky, and the rivers began carrying the heavy whispers of approaching conflict. The desperate king, sitting upon his golden throne, sent royal messengers riding on swift horses across every province, beating heavy bronze gongs that echoed through valleys, mountains, and sleepy villages, begging for a true hero to rise and save the realm from total destruction. The deafening, urgent sound of the royal bronze gong eventually traveled deep into the quiet valleys of Fudong, slicing through the morning mist. It vibrated against the wooden walls of the small cottage where 3-year-old Gong had sat motionless for a year. Suddenly, as if awakened by an invisible cosmic command, the silent boy stood up to his full, astonishing height for the very first time. For 3 years, his lips had remained sealed, but now he opened his mouth. His voice did not sound like that of a child, but like a rolling peal of thunder, shaking the foundations of the earth. Mother, he spoke with profound, resonant clarity. Go and fight the royal messenger inside our home immediately. Outside the wooden door, the royal messenger halted his panting horse in absolute, breathless shock, staring in disbelief at the young boy who had just broken years of absolute silence. The old mother, tears of overwhelming joy and sudden apprehension streaming down her weathered cheeks, hurried to open the creaking wooden gate, welcoming the armored rider into their humble courtyard. The air grew still, heavy with a sense of historic destiny, as the messenger knelt before the child, delivering the king's desperate plea for a champion to defend the homeland against the invading armies. Gong listened with steady, unwavering eyes, his gaze reflecting the distant fires of the approaching war, knowing that his long slumber of silence had finally come to an end. With the messenger's plea echoing through the rustic cottage, the simple rhythms of Gong's life shifted forever, demanding an impossible transformation to meet the coming storm. The villagers, summoned by the astonishing news of the speaking child, rushed to the cottage carrying every scrap of food, rice, and meat they possessed, knowing that an ordinary boy could never satisfy the hunger of a growing titan. Gong ate bowls upon bowls of rice, yet his hunger only grew, his limbs stretching and strengthening at a miraculous, terrifying pace before the eyes of all his stunned parents. The small bamboo bed could no longer hold him, and as he stood tall in the sunlight, he outgrew his childhood clothes within a matter of single hours, becoming a magnificent, towering youth ready to shoulder the fate of the entire kingdom. Realizing that conventional weapons of wood and bronze would shatter like dry twigs against the iron-clad invaders of the Yin Empire, the village elders sent an urgent plea to the royal capital for the finest blacksmiths in the land. Soon, roaring fires blazed day and night in temporary forge pits set up near the village, where glowing iron melted under the steady rhythm of heavy hammers. Gong himself stepped forward to guide the work, his strong hands shaping massive bars of steel, crafting an unbreakable iron sword and a mighty set of impenetrable armor. Beside the forge, the villagers also rushed to bring a magnificent, miraculous iron horse forged with hollow bronze lungs designed to breathe out real fire. When the destined hour finally arrived, as the preparations for the great conflict began to unfold beneath the moonlit sky, the village of Fudong continued its gentle, rhythmic breathing, untouched by the rush of the outside world. Soft evening winds swept across the emerald rice paddies, carrying the sweet, earthy scent of damp soil and blooming wildflowers. In the distance, the silhouette of towering bamboo forests swayed with a slow, hypnotic grace, casting long and comforting shadows over the quiet pathways. The world felt vast, ancient, and deeply patient, holding its breath as history prepared to turn a magnificent new page. Within the safety of the rustic wooden cottage, the young titan who would soon save the realm rested peacefully, wrapped in a blanket of absolute serenity. His breathing was slow and measured, matching the steady cadence of the night. Crickets singing outside the woven window frames. The oil lamp flickered with a warm, amber glow, casting dancing patterns of light across the mud walls and the aging wooden floorboards. Every sound, from the distant hoot of an owl to the gentle rustle of leaves, contributed to an overwhelming sense of profound safety and tranquility. Beyond the borders of the peaceful valley, the vast landscapes of the ancient tent land stretched out under a blanket of sparkling stars. Silver moonlight washed over winding rivers that flowed without a single trace of hurry, kissing the smooth stones along their banks with cool, soothing whispers. The mountains stood like silent, eternal guardians, their dark peaks piercing the soft nocturnal mist, while the rest of the world drifted deeper into slumber. There was no urgency here, no heavy burden to carry into the night, only the timeless flow of nature continuing its eternal journey. Far across the quiet fields, small farmhouses rested under thatched roofs, their inhabitants long asleep, dreaming of golden harvests and gentle spring mornings. The simple wooden carts used for daily labor sat motionless under the open sky, their wheels resting quietly upon the damp grass, kissed by the heavy midnight dew. It was a world built on small routines, patient hands, and the enduring comfort of community, where every neighbor shared the silent hope for peaceful day. Ahead, high above the sleeping earth, the constellations traced their slow celestial arcs across the deep violet canvas of the night sky. They asked for nothing, hurried nowhere, and judged no one, offering a timeless reminder that beyond every human struggle, the universe maintains an endlessly comforting rhythm. The same moon that looked down upon the looming threat of the Yin Empire also cast its gentle light upon calm lakes, sleeping forests, and quiet harbors, enveloping the entire world in a blanket of silent grace. As the midnight hour deepened, the fires within the temporary forge pit slowly turned into glowing beds of soft amber coals. The heavy hammers rested against the dirt, their work complete, radiating a residual, comforting warmth into the cool night air. The magnificent iron horse and the unbreakable weapon stood ready in the darkness, absorbing the quiet power of the earth while awaiting the dawn. Everything was prepared, yet everything remained perfectly still, resting in the profound stillness that precedes a great awakening. Inside the village boundaries, even the livestock rested with slow, easy breaths, their forms softly illuminated by the pale starlight filtering through open fences. A gentle breeze drifted through the lanes, carrying the faint, clean fragrance of pine resin and distant rain. The world felt suspended in a timeless moment of grace, where past legends and future triumphs dissolved into a singular, tranquil state of absolute rest. Down by the riverbank, the reeds swayed gently against the flowing current, creating a soft, rustling music that lulled the night into an even deeper slumber. Fireflies danced in slow, hypnotic circles above the water's surface, their tiny lights blinking like fallen stars, searching for their way back to the heavens. It was a landscape of pure magic, where every natural element whispered stories of endurance, beauty, and quiet protection to anyone willing to listen. But as the first faint hints of dawn began to paint the eastern horizon in delicate shades of lavender and rose, the night offered its final peaceful embrace. The stars began to fade softly into the brightening sky, and the morning mist rolled thicker across the valleys, wrapping the sleeping world in a soft, woolen blanket of white. There was a profound sense of completion in the air, a quiet assurance that, whatever the new day might bring, the roots of this ancient land ran deep, strong, and eternally peaceful. And so, as the final shadows of the night dissolved into the gentle warmth of the coming morning, the quiet village of Fudong breathed as one. The air was fresh and crisp, carrying the promise of a new beginning, while the timeless rhythms of nature continued their unbroken dance. Rest now in this profound stillness, knowing that the ancient stories of the alien land will protect your dreams, guarding your sleep with the quiet, enduring grace of 1,000 peaceful tomorrows. As the roaring fires of the forge cooled into a blanket of glowing embers, the Heavy iron horse and the unbreakable sword stood silent under the starlight. The soft hum of the night air carried the faint scent of charcoal and cool. Mountain dew wrapping the entire valley in a profound sense of quiet. Readiness? In the quiet workshops where military maps were printed, enormous presses turned with slow, steady confidence, producing millions of carefully detailed sheets that would guide travelers across mountains, rivers, coastlines, and forests. The rhythmic thump of the printing machines blended softly with the scent of glee, fresh ink, and warm paper, creating a timeless melody of careful planning and patient human endeavor. Across the vast Atlantic Ocean, convoys crossed thousands of miles of open water where the horizon seemed endless and the sea stretched peacefully beneath. Changing skies. Days passed with little more than the gentle rise and fall of the waves, the distant cries of seabirds, and the steady heartbeat of ship engines echoing through steel hulls. Inside modest radio repair shops, experienced technicians quietly restored receivers that connected families with distant voices and familiar music. Wooden cabinets rested upon sturdy benches. Glass vacuum tubes glowed with a comforting amber light, and tiny soldering irons released the faint scent of oil, warm resin, into the still air. Throughout occupied and neutral regions alike, librarians quietly continued, collaging books with remarkable dedication, preserving knowledge, one volume at a time. Small handwritten cards slid neatly into wooden drawers. Shelves remained carefully organized, and readers wandered quietly between rows of books beneath. Soft afternoon sunlight filtering through tall windows. Across North Africa, desert railways stretched through landscapes of astonishing simplicity, where endless horizons shimmered beneath warm sunlight, and distant hills appeared like soft blue silhouettes against the sky. Locomotives rolled steadily across broad plains, their wheels singing quietly upon polished rails, while fine grains of sand drifted gently across the tracks. With every passing breeze, the dependable field telephone quietly connected people across remarkable distances using long strands of carefully laid cable. Teams patiently unrolled wire through forests, across meadows, and along country roads, ensuring clear communication between distant locations while accompanied only by birdsong and the whisper of wind. Many museums quietly protected priceless collections throughout the war years, carefully relocating paintings, sculptures, manuscripts, and historical treasures to safer locations whenever circumstances required. Wooden crates were lined with soft padding, delicate objects wrapped with eau stud. Extraordinary care and detailed inventories prepared by patient curators beneath quiet gallery lights. Across countless kitchens, simple enamel cookware became a familiar part of everyday life, with blue, white, or cream-colored pots resting patiently upon warm stoves. Wooden spoons stirred quietly while fragrant steam drifted toward open windows, carrying comforting aromas into peaceful neighborhoods and reminding families of stability amid uncertainty. High above Europe and the Pacific, astronomers continued observing the heavens. Whenever clear skies allowed, welcoming the silence of the night, were powerful telescopes slowly followed familiar planets across the darkness. Frost settled gently upon domes before dawn, notebooks filled with careful observations, and the universe revealed itself one patient measurement at a time. The familiar typewriter became one of the most important sounds inside quiet offices throughout the world. Its steady rhythmic clicking filling calm rooms with a gentle, mechanical music. Keys clicked with remarkable, soothing consistency. As paper advanced one careful, measured line at a time, and the small silver bell at the edge of each page offered a soft, unmistakable chime. Secretaries, clerks, and translators patiently transformed handwritten notes into orderly documents. Beneath the slow, hypnotic spin of ceiling fans and the warm, amber glow of far afternoon light, each carefully typed page carried quiet coordination, moving immense organizations forward with remarkable, unhurried grace. High in the remote mountains, whether observers quietly climbed to isolated stations where the crisp, thin air carried the fresh scent of snow, pine, and clean, weathered stone. Delicate instruments stood patiently against the gentle alpine wind, recording temperature, pressure, and changing clouds with careful, quiet accuracy. Sunrise painted the distant snow-capped peaks in gentle shades of gold and soft rose, while deep valleys below remained peacefully wrapped in cool, rolling morning mist. Though far removed from the busy world, these peaceful stations gathered valuable knowledge, demonstrating that even the most isolated landscapes whispered important secrets to those willing to listen. Throughout many quiet cities, electrical tram systems continued gliding along familiar cobblestone streets with calm, reassuring reliability. Their polished steel wheels hummed softly over worn rails, while overhead wires sang almost imperceptibly in the cool, still air. Passengers gazed through wide, slightly fogged windows at rows of old brick buildings, leafy, peaceful parks, and quiet marketplaces unfolding at an unhurried, gentle pace. Conductors greeted travelers with practiced, quiet courtesy as paper tickets changed hands with a soft rustle, and brass bells rang gently before each smooth, rocking departure, reminding everyone that daily life continued, one peaceful, rhythmic stop at a time. Large, cavernous warehouses quietly served as carefully organized homes for supplies arriving from distant, unseen places. Wooden crates were stacked with remarkable, patient precision, while heavy canvas sacks rested neatly in long, quiet rows. Sunlight filtered slowly through high, dusty windows, illuminating tiny, golden particles that floated lazily in the perfectly still air. Workers moved methodically between the shadowed aisles, checking handwritten inventories with patient, thoughtful attention. The scent of raw timber, canvas, and dried goods mingled in the cool shadows, supporting countless global operations through nothing more than simple, calm organization and the steady comfort of daily routine. Even in remote, sweeping deserts, astronomy remained a quiet, faithful companion beneath astonishingly clear, vast skies. As evening arrived, the day's heavy warmth slowly faded, replaced by a cool, gentle breeze, carrying the faint scent of dry earth and ancient, cooling stone. Above the endless dunes, countless stars emerged with breathtaking clarity, forming brilliant, silent rivers of light stretching from horizon to horizon. Ancient travelers and modern observers alike paused to tilt their heads upward admiring these familiar, glittering patterns. The vast, unbroken silence of the desert invited deep, thoughtful reflection, reminding every quiet soul that the heavens remained beautifully constant. As the deep chill of winter slowly gave way to the soft promise of spring, rivers swelled gently with melting crystalline snow. Ancient forests awakened beneath a canopy of fresh pale green leaves, and migrating birds returned along invisible pathways stretching across vast continents. Morning sunlight shimmered upon quiet, meandering streams, while gentle breezes carried the delicate fragrance of new blossoms through the warming air. Distant church bells echoed softly through peaceful emerald valleys. Nature patiently renewed itself, exactly as it had for thousands of years, offering quiet, profound reassurance that even after the longest winter, warmer, brighter days always find their way home. Across the rolling, open countryside, traditional wooden windmills continued turning slowly beneath broad, painted skies, just as they had for countless generations before. Their great, heavy sails caught the gentle, invisible breezes, creaking softly, rhythmically, as long shadows drifted across nearby golden fields of wheat and barley. Birds circled effortlessly overhead, while delicate wildflowers swayed beside narrow, winding footpaths. Distant, clear streams murmured peacefully through green, sunlit meadows. These graceful, enduring structures remained quiet symbols of patient, unhurried labor, whispering a comforting reminder that human ingenuity and the gentle forces of nature have long worked side by side in perfect, quiet harmony. Great, sheltered harbors awakened each morning with a slow, steady rhythm, entirely their own, as towering cranes lifted wooden cargo with deliberate, practiced care. Dock workers guided heavy crates across weathered, salt-stained piers, while white seagulls drifted effortlessly upon the cool, salty winds. Dark waves lapped gently against sturdy wooden hulls, and thick hemp ropes creaked softly with the slow, eternal rise and fall of the ocean tide. The rich scent of the sea mixed with fresh pine timber and dark engine oil, creating an atmosphere that felt both deeply industrious and remarkably profoundly calm beneath the pale morning sun. The simple, bound notebook became one of history's most quiet, enduring treasures, carried carefully inside coat pockets, leather satchels, and sturdy canvas bags. Wherever people travel, within its modest, lined pages, careful pencil sketches, weather observations, and deeply personal reflections accumulated day after quiet day. Soft pencil marks faded gently with time, corners curled softly from the touch of familiar hand, and the paper gradually absorbed the memories of everyday life. These humble, silent records preserved countless ordinary moments, allowing the future to glimpse the past through calm, thoughtful, and deeply human eyes. Resting peacefully between weathered covers, across the sweeping, rural farmlands, strong, patient horses continued performing their valuable quiet work beneath open skies. Their steady, rhythmic hoofbeats echoed softly along dirt country lanes, while heavy leather harnesses creaked gently with each measured, deliberate step. In the crisp morning chill, their warm breath drifted into the cool air like delicate, fading clouds of White mist. Farmers greeted their familiar, loyal companions with quiet, spoken affection, stroking smooth, warm necks as fields stretched peacefully toward the distant, hazy tree lines. These dependable animals carried the weight of century, continuing a quiet, unbroken tradition of shared labor and deep, unspoken trust. The careful, quiet preservation of historic monuments became an important, enduring concern for scholars, architects, and local communities alike. Ancient stone churches, medieval castles, weathered statues, and centuries-old town halls stood as silent, peaceful reminders of the generations that had quietly come before. Deep green ivy climbed slowly up the old, weathered stone walls, while stained glass windows gathered the gentle, warm light of the later afternoon sun. Worn wooden staircases softly reflected the invisible footsteps of countless visitors across the centuries. Protecting these beautiful cultural landmarks meant safeguarding shared memory itself, ensuring that the quiet dignity of history would remain visible long after the present moment had peacefully passed into silence. Far from the crowded, bustling cities, solitary shepherds quietly guided their flocks across open, rolling hillsides, where gentle breezes carried the sweet scent of wild grass and blooming mountain herbs. The sheep grazed peacefully beneath broad, endless blue sky, while small brass bells chimed softly around their necks with every slow, measured step. Loyal dogs watched attentively from nearby grassy ridges, their breathing steady and calm. Fluffy white clouds drifted lazily overhead while distant mountains shimmered in the warm afternoon haze. These ancient, unhurried rhythms of rural life continued almost untouched, reminding everyone that beyond the world's great events, countless traditions endured with quiet, profound dignity and remarkable continuity. The careful, deliberate art of repairing machinery became a highly valued, quiet practice, just as important as building something new. Inside modest, shadowed workshops, experienced mechanics listened patiently to familiar rhythmic sounds, adjusting tiny gears, tightening brass bolts, and polishing worn steel surfaces with smooth, measured motion. The gentle tapping of hand tools echoed softly through calm spaces, heavily scented with worn engine oil, clean metal, and seasoned oak wood. Every successful, patient repair gracefully extended the life of an object already trusted and deeply understood, demonstrating that thoughtful, quiet maintenance always carries its own unique form of enduring, practical wisdom. Across distant, isolated islands scattered throughout the vast Pacific, tall coconut palms swayed gently beneath warm, fragrant tropical breezes, while waves rolled with a slow, hypnotic rhythm onto bright, sandy shores. Brilliant blue lagoons perfectly reflected drifting white clouds, and colorful birds called softly from deep within dense emerald green forests. Cool evenings always arrived with breathtaking, silent sunset, slowly painting the wide horizon in vivid shades of spun gold, burnt orange, and deep, restful violet. Although connected to global events, their natural beauty remained untouched and timeless, offering peaceful landscapes shaped entirely by wind, ocean, and gentle sunlight. Over countless centuries, as another quiet evening slowly settled across the world, countless windows began to glow with the soft, gentle light of oil lamps, glowing lanterns, and carefully shaded electric bulbs. Families gathered closely around familiar wooden tables, sharing calm, hushed conversations while solitary readers turned another delicate page before surrendering to sleep. Outside, crickets sang softly beneath the vast, starlit skies. Cool, invisible breezes stirred the dark leaves of ancient trees, and winding rivers continued their patient, unhurried journey toward the sea. These peaceful, intimate scenes of ordinary life gently reminded everyone of the profound, simple comfort found in the quietest hours of the night. As daylight slowly faded across countless jagged coastlines, dedicated signal stations and their quiet crews patiently prepared for another peaceful, unbroken evening of observation. Tall wooden masts stood proudly against evening skies painted with soft shades of amber and pale lavender, while trained observers carefully watched the darkening horizon through heavy, polished binoculars. Gentle sea breezes carried the familiar, comforting scent of ocean salt and drifting green kelp, as distant waves rolled steadily and rhythmically toward the shore. Their vital work required profound patience above all else, offering hours of calm, silent attention broken only by the soft scratching of a pen in weathered logbooks. Simple paper ration books became surprisingly familiar, quiet companions into millions of households, carefully tucked away into deep coat pockets, worn kitchen drawers, and warm family cupboards. Their thin paper covers gradually softened from daily gentle use, while neat rows of printed coupons quietly marked the slow rhythm of ordinary, everyday life. Around sturdy wooden tables, families thoughtfully planned modest meals, filling their homes with the deeply comforting aromas of freshly baked bread, warm vegetable soups, and gently simmering broths. These small booklets reflected a careful, quiet resourcefulness, encouraging people to value every small provision with profound gratitude and thoughtful care. Hidden deep among peaceful, expansive woodlands, solitary forestry workers continued tending vast, ancient forests that stretched far beyond the horizon. Soft beds of pine needles cushioned every slow footstep beneath the towering trees, while birds greeted the morning sun with gentle, echoing songs. Cool, mountain breezes carried the sharp, fresh scent of pine resin through quiet, shadowed valleys. Rangers patiently marked healthy timber, protected young, fragile saplings, and watched the changing seasons unfold with practiced, unhurried eyes. These quiet emerald forests remained living, breathing landscapes, growing steadily through the years beneath the patient, eternal rhythm of untouched nature. Across many quiet towns and bustling neighborhoods, highly skilled seamstresses quietly transformed heavy rolls of fabric into warm uniforms, thick blankets, and countless everyday necessities. Iron scissors glided smoothly and rhythmically across soft cloth. Sewing machines hummed with a deep, comforting, mechanical regularity, and colorful spools of cotton thread rested neatly beside carefully folded paper. Patterns. Warm sunlight streamed through dusty workshop windows, illuminating tiny floating fibers that drifted lazily in the still afternoon air. Every careful, deliberate stitch reflected remarkable craftsmanship, proving that patient, steady hands could weave enduring comfort into the very fabric of daily life. At remote, isolated weather stations scattered across lonely islands and empty plains, observers faithfully released large weather balloons into the calm, pale morning sky, filled with lighter-than-air gas. Each smooth, white balloon rose gently and silently above windswept cliffs and quiet sandy beaches, carrying delicate brass instruments ever higher into the cool, invisible layers of the atmosphere. Scientists below watched patiently, shielding their eyes from the sun, until the balloon became nothing more than a tiny, floating white dot against the endless blue. Invisible currents carried this valuable information across the heaven, mapping the changing moods of the vast, beautiful sky. The quiet art of repairing books became especially meaningful during years when every resource truly mattered. Skilled conservators gently cleaned worn, fragile pages, reinforced delicate bindings, and carefully stitched loose sections together using timeless techniques refined over generations. The faint, comforting scent of aged leather, dry paper, and natural glue filled peaceful, shadowed workshops where profound silence encouraged thoughtful concentration. Rather than replacing treasured volumes, these patient artisans restored them, allowing profound knowledge, beautiful literature, and cherished family histories to continue resting safely upon quiet library shelves for many gentle years to come. Throughout the rolling, emerald countryside, ancient church bells continued marking the passing hours with familiar, soothing melodies that echoed gently across quiet fields and sleeping villages. Their clear, resonant tones drifted effortlessly over slow rivers, blooming orchards, moss-covered stone cottages, and winding dirt roads before gradually fading into the hazy distance. Weary farmers paused briefly from their heavy work. Small children looked up toward village towers, and birds lifted gracefully into the vast open sky. These steady rhythmic chimes connected generations through shared moments of quiet reflection, reminding communities that the gentle rhythm of daily life continued inside carefully organized, hushed laboratories. Delicate glass bottles lined polished wooden shelves, each labeled with elegant handwriting and arranged with remarkable, unhurried precision. Tall measuring cylinders reflected soft, warm electric light. Heavy brass instruments gleamed quietly in the shadow, and thick notebooks recorded tiny observations in remarkably tidy, patient columns. Dedicated scientists advanced their understanding through careful, gentle care. Repetition, testing, observing, and verifying each result with calm, unwavering determination. Their profound discoveries rarely arrived through sudden flashes of full inspiration, but through countless peaceful hours of patient study, demonstrating that lasting knowledge grows slowly, one careful experiment at a time. Many quiet families treasured small, black and white photographs tucked safely inside heavy albums or carefully folded, handwritten letters. Gentle frozen smiles, familiar sunlit garden, warm family gatherings, quiet holidays, and perfectly ordinary afternoons were miraculously preserved upon delicate paper that gradually softened with age. During peaceful, firelit evenings, Thick albums were opened slowly, heavy pages turned with utmost care, and precious memories shared through quiet, whispered conversation. These simple, silent photographs carried remarkable emotional warmth, allowing familiar faces and beloved places to remain beautifully close, even across great sweeping distances and the slow passing of many years. Across the rolling green countryside of Britain, thousands of young women quietly joined the land army, helping to tend open fields, harvest golden crops, and care for gentle livestock, while so many experienced farm workers were far away. At sunrise, cool, silver dew rested heavily upon neat rows of vegetables. Tiny skylarks sung high above the open meadows, and sturdy boots pressed softly into the rich, dark earth. The work was incredibly steady and closely tied to the timeless, unhurried rhythm of the turning seasons. Each carefully planted seed and every softly harvested field quietly strengthened communities, reminding everyone that true nourishment begins with patient hands and fertile, giving soil. The careful, meticulous collection of scrap materials became a surprisingly organized, gentle effort throughout many nations, softly encouraging quiet neighborhoods to gather unused metal, rubber, paper, and other reusable resources. Children happily pulled small wooden wagons through quiet, tree-lined streets. Neighbors sorted little piles beneath gentle afternoon sunshine, and cool church halls gradually filled with neatly arranged bundles awaiting transport. The sounds of this labor were remarkably simple and comforting. Friendly, hushed conversations, the faint clink of metal, the dry rustle of paper, and the steady, rhythmic creak of wooden carts. These humble, patient acts reflected a beautiful shared understanding that even the smallest, quietest contribution carried profound meaning. In the quiet, absolute darkness long before dawn, dedicated railway maintenance crews often began their vital work while most towns still slept deeply beneath the stars. Heavy iron lanterns cast warm, golden circles of light across polished steel rails, while cool morning mist drifted lazily above the wooden tracks, and distant, hooting owls gave way to the very first, sleepy songs of waking birds. Workers carefully inspected heavy bolts, iron switches, wooden sleepers, and stone bridges with remarkable, patient attention to detail. Every safe, gentle journey depended upon these peaceful, invisible hours of careful preparation. Ensuring the tracks were perfect long before the day's first train softly rolled into motion. Throughout the long years of the war, millions of humble carrier pigeons continued performing one of history's oldest, quietest forms of communication, relying entirely upon their remarkable natural instinct for finding home. Released gently into the open, endless skies, they climbed gracefully above green forests, winding rivers, sleeping villages, and rolling fields before turning toward familiar wooden lofts. Their soft, feathered wings beat with quiet, rhythmic determination through cool breezes scented with fresh rain and wild grass. Many delicate messages they carried were brief, carefully folded into tiny, weightless containers, crossing immense, silent landscapes where no telephone line or radio signal could ever reach. The remarkable, widespread tradition of blackout curtains transformed bustling city evenings into landscapes of unusual, profound stillness. as deep twilight settled across the endless rooftops. Families carefully drew thick, heavy curtains across every glass window, allowing only the faintest, warmest glow to remain safely indoors. Outside, familiar streets appeared surprisingly, beautifully dark, while high above them, countless stars shone with unusual, breathtaking brilliance where the artificial light had completely faded. Soft footsteps echoed gently along quiet, empty pavements. Bicycles glided almost silently through the cool night, and the vast sky itself seemed wider, deeper, and more peaceful than ever before. In the peaceful, secluded valleys across Switzerland, traditional clocks continued to mark each passing, quiet hour with extraordinary unbroken precision. Modest wooden workshops echoed gently with the delicate, soothing ticking of finely crafted mechanisms. Tiny brass gears turned almost invisibly beneath heavy magnifying lenses, and highly skilled artisans adjusted each tiny movement with remarkable quiet. Patience. Outside the small windows, the crisp mountain air carried the fresh scent of pine forests and clear, icy streams flowing over smooth gray stone. These master clockmakers represented centuries of accumulated, peaceful knowledge, demonstrating that true accuracy and enduring beauty always grow from countless calm, unhurried moments devoted to perfecting the smallest detail. Many botanical gardens quietly preserved rare plants throughout the years of time. Global conflict, continuing research that had begun long before the war itself. Carefully labeled flower beds stretched out peacefully beneath towering, ancient trees, while warm glass houses safely sheltered delicate, exotic tropical species from the changing weather outside. Winding dirt pathways invited peaceful, silent reflection among the brightly blooming gardens. Plump, golden bees wandered slowly from blossom to blossom, while dedicated gardeners gently watered the young, thirsty plants during the cool, misty morning. Even when much of the outside world focused upon uncertainty, these lush green sanctuaries patiently celebrated life's quiet persistence. Through every gently changing season, the dependable, elegant fountain pen remained an essential, quiet companion for teachers, engineers, doctors, administrators, and countless ordinary people. Before each thoughtful letter or detailed report could even begin, its smooth, golden nib was carefully dipped or slowly filled with deep, dark, fresh ink, then guided smoothly and effortlessly across crisp, white paper beneath the warm, yellow glow of a shaded desk lamp. The gentle, rhythmic scratching sound of fine handwriting filled peaceful offices and quiet, darkened studies alike. Every unique signature, delicate sketch, personal journal entry, or carefully written observation beautifully reflected a slower, calmer pace of thought, where complex ideas formed gradually, one measured, breathing sentence after another. Far above the vast rolling oceans, patient meteorologists gradually improved. Their deep understanding of the great, invisible streams of moving air circled the entire planet. Though the powerful jet stream was only beginning to be appreciated during this period, careful observations gathered from drifting weather balloons, solitary aircraft, and remote ground stations slowly revealed majestic patterns hidden High in the freezing atmosphere, invisible, sweeping winds carried fluffy white clouds across vast continents. With quiet, unstoppable determination, shaping the weather thousands of kilometers away. These profound discoveries gently reminded scientists that Earth's atmosphere was not a collection of isolated skies, but one vast, perfectly interconnected system constantly flowing and breathing around the sleeping globe. In the quiet, ink-scented workshops where military maps were printed, enormous iron presses turned with a slow, steady, comforting confidence, producing millions of carefully detailed sheets that would eventually guide tired travelers across towering mountains, winding rivers, jagged coastlines, and deep forests. The rhythmic, heavy thump of the printing machines blended softly with the rich, earthy scent of fresh ink and warm, pressed paper. Skilled, patient printers carefully checked every tiny line, delicate contour, and perfectly placed town name beneath bright overhead lamps before each fragrant bundle was neatly stacked. Though often overlooked, these beautiful maps became silent, trusted companions on countless long journeys, transforming completely unfamiliar landscapes into safe places that could be understood. One carefully drawn, curving line at a time. Across the vast, breathtaking expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, massive convoys often crossed thousands of miles of deep, open water, where the curved horizon seemed truly endless and the sea stretched peacefully beneath the ever-changing skies. Long days passed with little more than the gentle, hypnotic rise and fall of the dark waves, the distant, echoing cries of soaring seabirds, and the steady, reassuring heartbeat of heavy ship engines echoing deep through the steel hulls. Solitary sailors watched brilliant golden sunsets slowly dissolve into quiet, velvet nights filled with stars so incredibly numerous they seemed to gently touch the water itself. Profound patience became a comforting part of daily life, as the immense, breathing ocean rewarded careful, unhurried navigation and steady, peaceful routine above all else. Inside modest, warmly lit radio repair shops, experienced, quiet technicians carefully restored the delicate receivers that connected isolated families with distant, comforting voices and familiar, beautiful music. Smooth wooden cabinets rested gently upon sturdy workbenches, while glass vacuum tubes glowed warmly with a comforting, soft amber light, and tiny soldering irons released a faint, sweet scent of warm pine resin into the perfectly still indoor air. Every patiently repaired radio represented far more than a simple machine. It became a magical window into the wider, interconnected world. During peaceful, darkening evenings, families gathered closely nearby, listening intently to gentle, sweeping orchestras, calm weather reports, and familiar, soothing voices carried invisibly across remarkable starlit distances, across the sweeping, sun-baked expanse of North Africa. Solitary desert railways stretched through landscapes of astonishing, breathtaking simplicity, where endless, golden horizons shimmered beneath the warm sunlight and distant rocky hills appeared like soft, hazy blue silhouettes against the pale sky. Heavy steam locomotives rolled steadily and rhythmically across the broad, empty plains, their polished steel wheels singing quietly upon the shimmering rails, while incredibly fine grains of warm sand drifted gently across the wooden tracks with every passing whispered breeze. At sunset, the vast desert transformed entirely into a place of remarkable, silent beauty, with incredibly long shadows stretching across the cooling golden earth, and crisp evening air finally replacing the day's heavy warmth. Even here, out in the quiet emptiness, slow transportation depended upon careful planning and profound quiet perseverance. The dependable, sturdy field telephone quietly connected separated people across remarkable, vast distances using long, continuous strands of carefully laid, heavy black cable. Dedicated teams patiently unrolled the heavy wire through silent pine forests, across wide, grassy meadows, and along dusty country roads, ensuring perfectly clear communication between incredibly distant, isolated locations. The physical work unfolded with a steady, quiet concentration beneath rustling green leaves and vast, open skies, accompanied only by sweet birdsong, the gentle whisper of wind moving through tall, dry grass, and the occasional rhythmic click of simple oiled mechanical equipment. These delightfully uncomplicated devices reflected a beautiful, enduring truth that the most meaningful human communication often depends far more upon patient reliability than upon unnecessary complexity. Many grand, silent museums quietly protected humanity's priceless collections throughout the turbulent war years, carefully and lovingly relocating framed paintings, marble sculptures, ancient manuscripts, and irreplaceable historical treasures to much safer, hidden locations whenever circumstances required. Sturdy wooden crates were tenderly lined with soft protective padding. Delicate, fragile objects were wrapped with extraordinary, breathtaking care, and detailed, handwritten inventories were prepared by patient, devoted curators. Beneath quiet, dimmed gallery lights, even the entirely empty exhibition halls retained a thick atmosphere of a peaceful, enduring dignity, their highly polished wooden floors echoing softly with the slow, measured footsteps of solitary night watchmen. These thoughtful, quiet efforts gently ensured that magnificent masterpieces, created across the centuries, would safely continue inspiring future generations long after the present conflict had peacefully passed into the shadows of history. Across countless, warmly lit kitchens around the world, simple, brightly colored enamel cookware became a deeply familiar, comforting part of everyday, domestic life. Smooth blue, stark white, or soft cream-colored metal pots rested patiently and heavily upon warm iron stoves, gently and steadily simmering thick vegetable soups, wholesome grains, and freshly gathered, fragrant garden herbs. Worn wooden spoons stirred the rich broths quietly, while thick, fragrant steam drifted lazily toward open, painted windows, carrying deeply comforting, savory aromas out into the peaceful, darkening neighborhoods. The gentle, rhythmic bubbling of a warm cooking pot created its own kind of soothing evening music, reminding tired families that ordinary, quiet routines often provide the greatest, most profound sense of emotional stability. in quiet sitting rooms across the world. Soft, heavy skeins of natural, undyed wool were gently transformed into thick socks, warm scarves, and comforting blankets. The rhythmic, metallic clicks of wooden and bone knitting needles created a soothing, repetitive evening melody. As grandmothers, mothers, and children sat together beneath the soft golden glow of the stone hearth, the natural, deeply earthy scent of lanolin lingered in the cozy shadowed air. Cinder. While outside, the cool evening wind brushed softly against frosted window panes. Every slow, patient stitch carried an unspoken wish for safety, weaving profound warmth and enduring comfort into the very fabric of the gently falling night. Deep into the quiet, velvet hours of the night, long, dark postal trains glided smoothly along endless steel tracks, crossing sleeping continents while the rest of the world dreamed. Inside the warmly lit carriages, dedicated sorters balanced effortlessly with the gentle rocking motion of their train, sliding countless handwritten letters into neatly organized wooden cubicles. The steady, hypnotic clatter of iron wheels over wooden sleepers provided a constant, reassuring rhythm, while the faint, sweet scent of red sealing wax and heavy canvas mailbags filled the narrow aisles, connecting distant hearts and quiet homes through the simple, patient journey of it. The midnight mail. Centuries-old stained glass windows were carefully removed from towering ancient cathedrals, piece by delicate piece, to be hidden safely deep within the quiet, cool embrace of underground chalk caves. Down in the profound, undisturbed darkness, these magnificent panes of cobalt blue, ruby red, and emerald green rested peacefully inside sturdy wooden crates lined with soft, golden straw. Far removed from the changing skies above, the damp, earthy scent of ancient stone wrapped around them like a heavy, protective blanket, waiting patiently for the distant day when they would once again catch the warm, gentle light of a peaceful morning sun, as fuel became a precious, distant memory. Quiet city streets were gradually reclaimed by the gentle, whirring sound of countless bicycles, gliding smoothly over worn, historic cobblestones. Commuters pedaled at a slow, unhurried pace beneath the wide, leafy canopies of ancient oak trees. The soft clicking of oiled bicycle chains and the occasional cheerful chime of feet. A small brass bell replaced the heavy roar of engines. In the cool, misty morning, riders moved together in peaceful flowing rivers of motion, their steady breathing matching the calm, rhythmic turning of the slender wheels, returning a beautiful, quiet grace to the timeless avenues. Along the quiet, chalky cliffs of the coast, massive concrete acoustic mirrors stood silently facing the vast open sea. Long before the invention of modern radar, these giant, gracefully curved structures were designed simply to listen, catching the faintest, most distant vibrations carried upon the salt-tinged ocean winds. Nestled deeply in the tall, swaying coastal grass, observers would sit patiently within the curved walls, wrapped in thick, warm wool coats, listening to the mesmerizing, rhythmic crashing of the waves and the haunting, hollow whisper of the sea breeze, finding deep, meditative calm in the profound act of simply waiting and listening to the vast sky, high above the sleeping earth. Wooden gliders soared through the cool, thin atmosphere with breathtaking, absolute silence, devoid of heavy vibrating engines. These graceful winged vessels floated effortlessly upon invisible rivers of earth. Wind, much like great silent birds drifting across the pale silver moonlight. Inside the quiet, narrow cabins, pilots listened only to the gentle, rushing sigh of the air slipping over canvas, wings, and the soft, rhythmic creaking of the wooden frame. The world below appeared as a peaceful, miniature tapestry of dark pine forests and winding silver rivers, offering a serene, deeply detached perspective of the vast, sleeping planet. In the quiet corners of rural farms and community gardens, the ancient, patient practice of seed saving continued with remarkable, quiet devotion. At the end of the autumn harvest, gardeners carefully dried tiny, precious seeds upon old newspapers spread across sunny kitchen tables. The earthy, sweet scent of dried tomatoes, heavy beans, and golden sunflowers lingered in the warm afternoon air. These tiny, silent vessels of life were then gently swept into small brown paper envelopes, stored safely in cool, dark cupboards, carrying a quiet, enduring promise that no matter how long the winter, a vibrant, green spring would inevitably return. Across the warm, sun-drenched hillsides of the Mediterranean, ancient olive groves remained entirely indifferent to the changing maps of the chill world. Their thick, twisted wooden trunks held the quiet wisdom of countless centuries, while their silvery green leaves shimmered gently in the salty, evening coastal breeze. Patient farmers continued to harvest the small, dark fruit entirely by hand, just exactly as their ancestors had done. The soft rustle of leaves, the dull, rhythmic thud of olives falling onto heavy canvas tops, and the rich, golden scent of freshly pressed oil filled the tranquil valleys, maintaining a slow, eternal rhythm deeply rooted in the peaceful earth. Hidden away in quiet, ivy-covered country manors, brilliant minds worked through the late hours of the night in profound, concentrated silence. Soft yellow light spilled from green-shaded desk lamps onto mountains of intercepted messages. The only sounds were the soft scratching of pencils upon thick paper, the occasional, gentle turning of a page, and the rhythmic, steady hum of early mechanical machines. Outside the heavy, velvet-curtained windows, a soft rain fell steadily upon the manicured lawns and dark gravel paths, wrapping the secretive, intellectual haven in a deep, comforting blanket of natural white noise, allowing complex thoughts to quietly, peacefully unfold. At the very edges of the world, solitary lighthouse keepers maintained their quiet, faithful vigils high above the restless oceans, even when regulations required the great sweeping beams to be completely dim. The pristine glass prisms and heavy brass gears were polished daily with slow, loving, and meticulous care. The comforting smell of brass polish, clean burning oil, and deep sea salt permeated the circular stone rooms, while the wind howled outside the thick curved glass. The keeper remained safe and deeply warm within the sturdy tower, listening to the rhythmic, mechanical ticking of the light's rotation. A steady, peaceful heartbeat guarding the edge of the sea. High above the sleeping cities, massive silver barrage balloons floated silently in the cool night air, tethered firmly to the quiet earth below. They swayed gently and rhythmically, like great, peaceful whales swimming through an ocean of stars. The thick steel cables hummed with a low, almost imperceptible vibration whenever a gentle breeze washed over them. Moonlight reflected softly off their curved canvas surfaces, casting slow, sweeping shadows across the empty streets and darkened rooftops. Their silent, protective presence offered a strange, deeply profound comfort, standing as quiet sentinels watching over the dreams of millions. Long before the sun even thought to rise, quiet bakeries were already filled with the deep, comforting warmth of glowing stone ovens. Patient bakers worked in a rhythmic, unhurried trance, their hands covered in a dusting of fine white flour. They kneaded heavy, soft dough against smooth wooden tables, pushing and folding with steady, deliberate care. The deeply familiar, sweet scent of rising yeast and baking bread drifted out into the cold, empty streets, wrapping the sleeping neighborhoods in an invisible, fragrant blanket, promising that no matter the uncertainties of the world, warm nourishment would be waiting at dawn. Inside vast, quiet assembly halls, long, polished wooden tables stretched out under the soft glow of shaded lamps. Here, countless yards of pure pale silk were handled with breathtaking, meticulous care. Workers moved with a slow, graceful choreography, folding the incredibly soft, weightless fabric over and over again. The only sounds were the gentle, whispered sliding of silk against wood, and the quiet, rhythmic counting of the packers. Each perfectly folded parachute became a silent promise of safety, packed with profound, patient devotion, resting quietly inside heavy canvas bags until the moment it was needed to catch the wind. Far out on the vast, breathing ocean, when the ship's engines hummed a low, steady lullaby, quiet navigators stepped onto the open decks to speak with the stars, holding heavy brass sextants to their eyes. They stood perfectly still against the gentle roll of the dark water. The cool, salty wind brushed against their heavy coats as they measured the ancient, glittering constellations that had guided sailors for thousands of years. It was a moment of profound, lonely beauty, tracing invisible lines across the heavens, finding their precise place in the vast sleeping world through nothing but patience and starlight to guide travelers safely through the deep, artificial darkness of the blackout. Patient workers spent long, quiet afternoons painting crisp, white lines along the edges of pavements, curbs, and the trunks of ancient street trees. The wet paint smelled sharp and clean against the damp city air. Brushes moved with slow, deliberate, sweeping strokes, leaving behind a trail of bright, guiding ribbons. When the velvet night finally fell, these simple white markers caught the faint silver glow of the moon, silently guiding tired workers and slow-moving bicycles safely home through the peaceful, shadowed streets. As the first pale hues of morning slowly dissolved the heavy night mist, the gentle, rhythmic clopping of horse hooves echoed softly down empty, cobblestone lanes. Dependable milk carts continued their quiet daily rounds, pulled by calm, sturdy horses whose warm breath plumed perfectly into the chilly air. Glass bottles clinked with a light, musical chime as they were carefully placed. Upon stone doorsteps, the milkman moved with a slow, practiced grace, leaving behind fresh, cold milk before the houses even began to stir, preserving a deeply comforting, ordinary routine that anchored the waking world. Deep beneath the restless surface of the ocean, far away from the crashing waves and the changing weather, submarines sometimes drifted in a state of absolute, profound quiet known as silent running. Engines were stilled. Voices were hushed to the softest, breathless whispers, and the crew moved in stockinged feet across the cold, steel deck. In this heavy, suspended darkness, they could hear the mesmerizing distant songs of passing whales and the gentle, rushing currents of the deep sea pressing against the hull. It was a peaceful, isolated sanctuary, floating weightlessly within the cold, eternal embrace of the deep, in quiet, lonely outposts scattered across the globe. The slow, careful winding of a mechanical watch became a deeply grounding evening ritual. Soldiers sat in the dim glow of the moonlight, turning the tiny ridged crowns between their fingers with gentle, measured clicks. The miniature, metallic heartbeat of the watch ticked steadily against their wrists, a tiny, perfect machine keeping perfect time. This simple, deeply personal action connected them to the people waiting back home, a quiet, reassuring reminder that time continued to move forward, carrying them gently closer to the day peace would finally return. Inside drafty village halls and quiet community centers, groups of older women sat in comfortable, easy silence, their hands weaving thousands of miles of heavy twine into enormous, intricate camouflage nets. They wove strips of earthy green and deep brown fabric through the rough netting, their fingers moving with a hypnotic, practiced rhythm. The dry, fibrous scent of hemp and dyed canvas filled the air. Occasionally, a soft sigh or a whispered conversation would drift across the room. But mostly, there was only the peaceful, steady rustle of the heavy fabric, a quiet, collective effort weaving protection for those far away, along the quiet, winding hedgerows of the countryside. People spent long, peaceful afternoons patiently gathering wild herbs and healing plants. Baskets were slowly filled with fragrant chamomile, bright rosehips, and sharp, earthy nettles. These gentle gifts of nature were taken home and laid out to dry upon old newspapers in warm, sunny windowsills. The sweet, soothing scent of drying flowers and wild mint filled the small kitchens. Later, in the cold, quiet depths of winter, these carefully preserved leaves would be brewed into warm, comforting teas, offering the deeply peaceful, healing warmth of a summer afternoon long after the snow had fallen. Along the endless stretches of lonely, wind-swept coastlines, solitary riders paced slowly along the edge of the dark, breathing ocean, mounted on calm, sturdy horses. Coast Guard patrols watched the horizon under the pale, comforting glow of the midnight moon. The only sounds were the gentle, rhythmic thud of heavy hooves sinking into the wet, cold sand, and the hypnotic, eternal crashing of the rolling waves. The cool, salty mist clung to their thick woolen coats, as they moved like silent phantoms through the deep rolling coastal fog, finding profound, undisturbed peace in the steady, unbroken rhythm of the ancient tide. Inside quiet, warmly lit textile workshops, skilled artisans carefully printed detailed escape maps onto sheets of the poorest, softest silk, unlike stiff, noisy paper. These beautiful silken maps could be folded endlessly without making a single sharp sound. The delicate fabric slipped through patient, working hands like cool water, shimmering gently under the soft amber glow of overhead lamps. The faint, sweet scent of rich dyes and worn fabric filled the tranquil, shadowed room. Every silent, rustling map became a weightless secret guide, designed to be worn close to the beating heart, offering quiet, steadfast reassurance to those flying high above the unfamiliar, sleeping world. In hushed, darkened sorting rooms, countless handwritten letters were gently photographed and shrunk onto tiny, delicate rolls of microfilm, creating invisible rivers of quiet communication known as victory mail. When these tiny spools finally reached their distant destinations, they were placed into smooth mechanical readers that hummed with a low, deeply comforting vibration. A soft, warm light projected the familiar curved handwriting onto a glowing glass screen. Families and weary soldiers sat in the quiet, dusty shadows, reading the gentle words of their loved ones, crossing vast, silent oceans on ribbons of light, proving that love could travel anywhere, weightless and beautifully preserved, far away from the restless, sandy shores. Thoughtful oceanographers sat in quiet, dusty university studies, observing the ancient, rhythmic breathing of the sea. Surrounded by towering stacks of tidal charts and heavy, leather-bound books, they listened to the soft, rhythmic ticking of brass clocks, calculating the precise gravitational pull of the distant moon. Their pencils scratched slowly and methodically across large, white sheets of parchment, predicting the gentle rise and fall of coastal waters months in advance. It was a deeply meditative, silent science, relying entirely on the perfect, predictable harmony of the silent, slowly orbiting heavens. In incredibly quiet, specialized workshops, patient painters worked with fine, delicate brushes, carefully applying tiny drops of luminescent paint to the dark dials of compasses and aviation clocks. When the overhead lights were finally switched off for the evening, the room transformed into a breathtaking, silent galaxy. Countless tiny numbers and perfectly straight hands glowed with a soft, ethereal green light in the absolute heavy darkness. The quiet, glowing instruments looked like captured fireflies resting peacefully under thick glass, silently waiting to guide weary navigators safely home through the deepest, darkest, and most peaceful hours of the lonely night. Scattered across quiet, remote encampments, military artists sat peacefully beneath the deep shade of ancient leafy trees, capturing the still, quiet moments of daily life with pieces of soft, dark charcoal. They sketched the slow, lazy drift of smoke rising from evening campfires, the heavy, sleeping forms of tired soldiers resting in the tall grass, and the magnificent, slow-moving clouds drifting across vast open skies. The dry, gentle scraping of charcoal against thick, textured paper was the only sound for hours. These patient artists preserved the profound human stillness that existed between the great events of the world, capturing fragile, quiet beauty on simple, silent pages. High above the sleeping continents, solitary ferry pilots guided newly built aircraft through the incredibly thin, freezing air of the upper atmosphere, flying completely alone, without radios to break the absolute heavy silence. They watched the magnificent blue curvature of the earth unfold slowly beneath them. The steady, reassuring drone of the engine became a deeply hypnotic, metallic lullaby as they soared through vast, empty canyons of blinding white clouds. Immersed in the pure golden light of the high-altitude sun, they experienced a profound, breathtaking isolation, floating peacefully in the serene, untouched heavens far above the noisy complications of the world below. Deep within the quiet, emerald shadows of ancient woodlands, thoughtful foresters were already planning for the peaceful, quiet decades to come. Walking softly over damp, spongy beds of fallen brown leaves, they patiently pushed tiny, fragile seeds and young green saplings into the cool, dark earth. The rich, earthy scent of fertile soil, fresh rain, and damp moss lingered heavily in the still morning air. They worked with a slow, deliberate, unhurried grace, planting entire forests they would never see fully grown. It was an act of profound, quiet hope, trusting completely in the gentle, unstoppable power of time and the healing partitions of nature. In large, airy lofts smelling faintly of dry canvas and warm golden beeswax, older craftsmen spent their quiet afternoons repairing heavy woven tents. Large iron needles were pushed slowly and rhythmically through the thick, stiff fabric, mending tears with thick, sturdy cotton thread. The afternoon sun cast long, golden beams across the worn, wooden floorboards, highlighting tiny motes of dust dancing lazily in the peaceful, silent air. The slow, repetitive, rocking motion of sewing brought a deep, meditative calm to the warm room, ensuring that those sleeping outdoors in distant lands would stay completely warm, dry, and safely sheltered from the whispering wind. At the back of small, darkened village cinemas, the solitary projectionist stood quietly beside the warm, humming body of the great film projector. The heavy reels of celluloid turned with a slow, mesmerizing, mechanical click, 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 sending a bright, flickering beam of white light through the dusty, velvet darkness. The deeply familiar scent of warm machinery and dry, heated film filled the tiny, enclosed booth. Down below, the audience sat in perfectly still, captivated silence, dreaming together in the gentle dark, while the projectionist watched over them like a quiet guardian of shadows and light, ending the evening in profound, shared peace. Deep within vast, cavernous studio hangars, quiet artists transformed heavy canvas and rough wood into incredibly realistic, peaceful illusions, painting immense nets to look exactly like rolling green hillsides or sleepy, leafy forests. They worked with slow, broad, and deeply satisfying strokes of thick, earthy paint. The rich, heavy scent of linseed oil and fresh sawdust settled gently into the cool air in the quiet shadows of these great rooms. They crafted perfect, silent deception, weaving a blanket of artificial nature to safely cover and protect Fae, vulnerable machinery resting below, hiding them safely beneath the gentle colors of the earth. Far up in the incredibly remote, frozen waters of the Arctic, solitary weather ships drifted slowly beneath skies of breathtaking, icy clarity, wrapped in thick layers of heavy wool. Silent watchstanders held warm, steaming mugs of dark tea, watching the majestic, shimmering curtains of the northern lights dancing silently across the heavy velvet night. The massive steel hull groaned with a low, deeply comforting and rhythmic voice as it pushed through the dark, icy swells, surrounded by absolute, unbroken isolation. They simply measured the falling snow and the shifting winds, sending quiet whispers of weather data across the vast, sleeping ocean, deep beneath the rolling surface of the Atlantic. Dedicated sonar operators sat completely motionless in tiny, warmly lit compartments. Heavy, leather-cushioned headphones rested comfortably against their ears as they listened with profound, meditative concentration to the secret, underwater symphony of the vast ocean. The hypnotic, rhythmic ping of the sound waves echoed smoothly into the endless, watery dark, returning only the gentle, sweeping sounds of shifting currents and distant, singing whales. It was a world entirely defined by listening, sitting in peaceful, breath-holding silence, trusting the deep, echoing heartbeat of the quiet sea to guide them safely through the dark. In brightly lit, peaceful community halls, dedicated volunteers spent long, rhythmic afternoons gently assembling thousands of modest relief parcels, moving with a slow, coordinated, and deeply comforting grace. They carefully tucked small tins of dark coffee, sweet chocolate, and hard biscuits into sturdy brown cardboard boxes. The soft, dry rustle of wrapping paper and the gentle, reassuring murmur of hushed conversations filled the warm, dust-moted air. Every single box was packed with profound, quiet love, becoming a tiny, traveling beacon of comfort, destined to bring a rare, peaceful moment of warmth and sweet relief to someone waiting far away. Inside incredibly quiet, darkened analysis rooms, patient specialists leaned closely over massive, brightly lit viewing tables, holding heavy, brass magnifying glasses to their tired eyes. The faint, sharp scent of photographic developing fluid lingered in the still, cool air, with remarkably slow, methodical care. They studied thousands of black and white aerial photographs, tracing the delicate, curving lines of distant rivers and the tiny geometric shadows of unfamiliar towns. Hour after hour, they searched for tiny truths hidden within the beautiful, abstract patterns of the landscape, finding deep, quiet order within the vast, sprawling geography of the world. Below, seated at long polished oak tables, thousands of quiet readers spent their peaceful, unhurried days carefully, reading mountains of handwritten letters. They worked in a space of almost absolute library-like silence, accompanied only by the soft, rhythmic snipping of small steel scissors and the gentle scratch of dark ink pens, the incredibly familiar, comforting scent of dry paper and warm afternoon. Sunlight filled the room, though they were searching for hidden secrets. They mostly spent their hours quietly witnessing millions of ordinary, beautiful expressions of love, carefully preserving the gentle, beating heart of humanity resting within every folded page. In specialized, remarkably quiet foundries, master glassmakers slowly crafted the flawless crystal-clear lenses needed for precise navigation and observation. The glowing, liquid glass was poured with breathtaking, steady care, before being placed into warm, dark ovens to cool at an incredibly slow, perfectly controlled pace. This patient, essential cooling process, known as annealing, often took many quiet, undisturbed weeks to complete. The soft, steady hum of the warm furnaces provided a constant, deeply soothing background melody, reminding the artisans that true, perfect clarity cannot ever be rushed. It can only be gently, patiently coaxed from the quiet fires of the earth, deep within the incredibly dry, silent chambers of ancient alpine salt mine. Humanity's greatest, most beautiful masterpieces rested in absolute, undisturbed peace, far beneath the snowy mountain peaks. The air was remarkably cool, perfectly still, and gently scented with raw, earthy minerals. Priceless paintings and delicate marble sculptures were carefully placed upon sturdy wooden racks, sleeping safely in a profound, heavy darkness. The only sound was the incredibly distant, slow dripping of mountain water, echoing through the ancient stone corridors. These subterranean vaults became quiet, timeless sanctuaries, holding the breathless beauty of the past safely in the comforting arms of the earth. High upon the quiet, rolling green hills of the countryside, solitary observers sat inside small, sandbagged posts, keeping a gentle, continuous watch over the vast open skies. As the velvet night deepened, they wrapped their hands around warm thermoses of rich, hot soup, listening intently to the mesmerizing, rhythmic rustle of the wind moving through the tall, wild grass. They learned to identify the distant, droning hum of an engine long before it could ever be seen. Sitting under the breathtaking canopy of a million glittering stars, they found a profound, solitary peace, serving as the silent, listening ears of the sleeping nation. In the deeply quiet, freezing hours just before the breaking of dawn, brilliant, patient minds sat inside drafty, wooden huts, deciphering the most complex, hidden puzzles of the age. The heavy, mechanical calculators whirred and clicked with a mesmerizing, rhythmic, and incredibly steady beat, while soft pencils scratched endless rows of letters onto fragile, thin paper. The deeply comforting scent of strong hot tea and burning tobacco mingled in the cool, still air. Outside, a thick white frost slowly covered the quiet gardens and sleeping trees, while inside they worked in perfect, concentrated harmony, unraveling the secrets of the night with slow, beautiful, and absolute precision.